Airports, train stations, and public transportations involve close contacts and shared facilities between large numbers of people. They also require strict access control over multiple areas. The COVID-19 pandemic has made the implementation of safety and security measures much more challenging. Fortunately, AI-based technologies can help us accomplish these challenging tasks. Thanks everyone for joining the second installment of the 5-part series put together for you by CyberLink, the CyberLink Master Series. My name is Jay, the head of business development of CyberLink. Our goal is to utilize these series to provide you with expert insights on how AI technologies can benefit our daily lives. I will be your host for today's session. The last time we got together as a group, we talked about how AI can create a safe and secure environment in large facilities. Today, we want to discuss how these technologies can be applied in air and ground transportation, public transportations, which I believe is close to home for all of us, as we all do our shares of leisure and business travel ourselves. Besides today's webinar, we also have 3 more coming up in the next few months that would basically focus on different verticals, including retail, education, and offices. So if you guys are interested in hearing about these topics, please continue to join us and register for future webinars as well. Today's session is titled Using AI for Healthy and Contactless Airport and Public Transportation. It's co-sponsored by CyberLink, S2 Global and PortNexus, and we are obviously joined by the SMEs of these from these respective companies today. Before I let the panelists introduce themselves, I do want to spend a couple seconds kind of talking about some housekeeping items and going through the process with everyone. I will be facilitating the session. Our presenters will take their turns and come up to share their presentations and demos. In the meantime, please feel free, when you hear anything you'd like to ask questions, there is a chat function in the GoToWebinar panel. When you join as an attendee, please feel free to type in your questions there. We'll gather those questions and we'll save it for the Q&A part in the last 10 minutes of the webinar. We also provided a handout. As you can see, it's got contact information to the presenters and the 3 companies that are present today. Now, without further ado, allow me to go around our virtual room and let me introduce, or let me have our panelists introduce themselves. Hi, Richard, do you want to introduce it? Let's go with Richard. Richard, please.
Okay, sure. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Richard Carrier. I'm head of global marketing, and I also run CyberLink for the Americas.
And next we have Melissa.
Hey everybody, Melissa Odegaard. I'm the marketing director for S2 Global. We have a number of business industries that we work with, including aviation, borders, customs, and events. So I look forward to speaking with you today and talking to you about some AI techniques.
Steve from PortNexus.
Good morning, everybody. My name's Steve Jones. I'm the founder and CEO of PortNexus, and we're very excited to share with you what we've done for the mobile side of face recognition use.
And Paul.
Hi, I'm Paul Gailey. I'm Chief Technology Officer at PortNexus, and I work directly with the CyberLink FaceMe folks to integrate their technology into our products.
Craig.
Hi everyone, Craig Campbell. I'm the manager for sales engineering, and I will monitor your questions. So please field some questions towards us because we'd really like to answer them.
All right, so without further ado, we will start with Richard. Richard, we're just going to give you the presenter rights, and you could go ahead and share with our audience some of CyberLink's innovative technologies. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Hi, everyone. Let me talk to you about facial recognition in the context of airport public transportation, do a quick introduction of FaceMe as well. So first, a few statistics. from a very recent survey conducted by SCA, the Security Industry Association of Facial Recognition, there's an overall majority of Americans, 59%, support facial recognition. But when it comes to airport to public transportation, the number is much higher. 75% support it for airlines, 69% for TSA security, 78% believe it can improve security systems, and 74% believe it can speed up security lines. So basically, population is ready to have facial recognition present and helping in all these cases. What are the security issues that are common to airport public transportation? Well, it's obvious around passenger security, facility security, and that is health and safety. You bring that into very large and complex facilities. You have complex legacy systems that don't always talk to each other, lack of integration. These are very human intensive still. There's multiple points of failure. It's very costly. So all this creates a very large number of opportunities for companies that bring technology to the space to add value and improve passenger traveler experience. Add to that the current pandemic. You need to do health check, you need to monitor social distancing, mask wearing, physical contacts, and make sure that everything is clean. So these are areas where technology can also help tremendously. What is CyberLink FaceMe? Is the world's top cross-platform AI facial recognition engine. So it's extremely accurate. According to NIST, it has 99.7% accuracy rate, which places it in the top 5 in the world for accuracy when you take out a few solutions from China and Russia, which cannot really go to market in both countries. Add to that the fact that it's edge-based, so it's very extremely fast, extremely secure. It's already at the very top. Now, this is a solution that runs on every platform, so Windows, Android, iOS, as well as several flavors of Linux and Jetson and others. So there's no solution that runs across all platforms the way we do, especially in a context where in a facility you might have several systems that run on different platforms. Now you bring it to the actual devices. We have different versions of our SDK and model that will run on PCs of different level of power. Will run on IoT devices, it will run on mobile devices or servers. So in every possible situation, our features are optimized to run and provide the best balance of performance, speed, accuracy on any system. The features are about face detection, how many people are in front of a camera, recognition, who is in front of the camera, facial attributes for statistics are, is it gender, age, mood, face orientation, so it can measure if people are nodding or shaking their head for contactless interaction with kiosks. We have image pre-processing technology that enhance lighting, image quality, so it minimizes, if not eliminating almost completely, any bias that could be attributed to gender, skin complexion, or others. We have anti-spoofing technology, so you cannot flash a picture or a video in front of someone. And we also added mask detection technology. So are people wearing a mask, wearing it properly over their face? And we can recognize people wearing masks. Here's a quick intro demo of a face. Okay, so what I'll show now, I'll show a little bit about our solution. We have integrated solution for security, some that address COVID-19, and then I'll bring a few use cases that are specific to airport and public transportation. So first one, we have an all-inclusive software called Facemi Security that you can install on edge workstations, extremely scalable, very cost-effective. Well, you can connect any IP camera. Give you an example, if you have 300 IP cameras in a system, 2 decent workstations with acceleration could run it without any issue. We added recently the ability to connect thermal cameras so you can measure temperature and then report it back. This all connect into a central server where you have database for faces to recognize people who are registered, and also to send notification alerts depending on the different cases. So this solution is pretty simple, and unlike our SDK, can literally be installed, ready to go, and set up in any kind of environment. Here's a demo of Facemi Security. Okay, now another addition is Facemi Health, which also runs as its own software solution. It adds mask detection, facial recognition when people are wearing masks with a precision level of up to 95%, and also includes thermal camera integration. Okay, and with all these solutions, the beauty of Facemi is the ability to send personalized messages specific to different situations, whether it's just a visitor, somebody who needs to greet them. You can do employee attendance login, which is attendance log, which is pretty important in many facilities. It will send blocklisted people notification or stranger notifications in areas that should be secure from different people. We'll also send health alert, and all that without ringing big alarm bells and creating panic. It will just send to the right people who can then identify the person who has the issue, and they can then interact with them directly. So some of the use cases that we find in public travel, in airports and public transportation. So first, traveler public area. So for surveillance, it can track, identify people of interest or blacklisted people. It can do group health screening. So it will call out anyone who's not wearing their mask or have elevated body temperature and measure how many people in one area. So for social distancing and monitoring. So that's a use case that is pretty standard and easy to implement in the current context. Also at passenger check-in, we start to see these contactless kiosks, but now you have to scan codes, etc. So with facial recognition, you can bypass all that or use the face as a secondary means of authentication for ID. It can get you right into the loyalty program. It can do the health screening right away when people are there, are entering the airport. Even, as I said, answering questions about anything just by nodding their head or shaking it, so they don't have to touch anything, creating a very fast and safe environment. Okay, when it comes to security controls, there's also lots of things already in place, but that can be improved with facial recognition. Make sure that security check is contactless. Instead of showing ID, people just with their face can be identified right away. You can continue to perform health control there. and minimize the number of human interactions while making the process fast and painless. Same thing at boarding. Already airlines have started to experiment with facial recognition for contactless automated boarding. So people, the picture here is an example from JetBlue, where people just before boarding, their face is identified, they're granted access to the plane. Probably better than some countries like the US, where technically if you drop your boarding pass, somebody else could pick it up, go at your gate, check themselves on the plane, and nobody would know, which is not something you want to do. And you can continue to perform health control throughout the process. Same thing at arrivals. You can have, when people walk by, you can have mask and body temperature checked right away. And everybody is familiar nowadays, or several of you certainly, with tools like Global Entry, where you can accelerate and minimize contacts and human contacts when you do entry in a new country or immigration. So these are things where facial recognition has started to be implemented and can improve dramatically. Now let's go like beyond airports and air travel, which is already pretty secure. So think of bus security, for example. So with external cameras outside the bus before entering and cameras inside the bus, you can do health monitoring at boarding. So is anyone not wearing a mask or having body temperature that's elevated, so they should not be on the bus? Is there anybody who's blacklisted, so you can control them? Also, you can apply contactless boarding. So instead of using any means that would require contact, the moment people walk in the bus, there's a notification if they should be on board. And then within the bus, you can do surveillance, again, for anything that might happen, people of interest, further on for verification for public safety. You can also monitor drivers, make sure the right driver is on the bus and not somebody else, and send the right alerts when it happens. Now, whether it's train stations, bus stations, airports, these are very complex facilities. So you can integrate facial recognition in a complete integrated solution with an SDK like FaceMe. So you can monitor at once on-premise security, delivery checkpoints. You can check who comes in and out to deliver merchandise or supplies or whatever it is, catering. You can use facial recognition for contactless machinery equipment sign-in. You can monitor employee access, security in the different areas. Same thing with contractors, intruders, and again, make sure you do health screening throughout so that employees and workers are all kept safe. You can apply, like why you can apply in an integrated way, you can go also and have individual independent systems. So for example, door access management, FaceMe can be integrated to IoT or camera solutions to notify a visitor arrival, grant employees access, and have all the built-in alerts that we talked about. For delivery pickup management, you can have automated gate access on the facilities. You can monitor the time that people are spending there, and you can have all the alerts sent in case there's an issue, so you can monitor everything. Employee clock-in can also be completely contactless, so people, they show up, they show their face, they're let in. You can have, again, health alerts, so anyone who enters, you know that they should be there, there's no issue, they're granted full access. Another area is equipment and device login. There's a lot of shared equipment in these facilities, so you can use it for contactless user authentication, you can have usage statistics, and you can also send alerts if there's any unauthorized users that tries to use the equipment. Okay, so this is a lot of use cases. Now, let's talk about future outlook. Already facial recognition is quite accepted in airports and starting to gain access in other public places like train stations, bus stations, but this is something that should increase. Edge-based solutions can reduce costs versus cloud-based solution. They're easy to deploy and quick to deploy. So this is something that will drive a lot of implementation over the next couple of years. We strongly believe that COVID-19 is accelerating the demand for these solutions. And very soon with 5G that comes out, So it really opens the door to solutions beyond the airport or the bus or train station and really into transportation equipment like buses, trains, and others. So this is how we see the future in the not so distant time. In conclusion, FaceMe offers a complete set of solutions for airport public places. We have a flexible SDK that can enable a comprehensive security system throughout the facility. We have cutting-edge solutions for security access COVID-19. All of this is contactless, unobtrusive. We have turnkey software, Facemi Security, Facemi Health, that can be deployed very easily anywhere without the need of a integrator. And our technology, which is edge-based and cross-platform, results in very cost-effective, robust deployment and low-cost maintenance. So thank you so much for this. Now, let me pass it back to Jay.
Thanks, Richard. Thanks for sharing what CyberLink has put together. Next up, we want to hand it off to Melissa. Melissa is from S2 Global. She's going to give us an update and kind of share it with us the innovations that S2 Global has put together for airport and public transportations and also other large facilities. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. All right. Okay, so a little bit of background on S2 Global. We are a part of a bigger company called OSI Systems, and our security division originally started out with Backend Systems. Excuse me just one second. There we go. Okay. Backend Systems, which makes hardware. So they make baggage scanners, metal detectors, things like that. We purchased a cargo scanning group, AS&E. So our security division was based out of hardware. S2 Global came in to do operations. So we're really operations experts. And our president is formerly of TSA, where he was a COO standing up the whole security apparatus after 9/11 on the West Coast. And so he has a really excellent feel for how things should be, how security operations should be efficient, and has driven us as a company to integrating all these systems together. And through that, we've come up with a great product called CertScan. So what are our problems that we have today? A lot of information and systems are operating in silos. We have too much new hardware. There's a lot of databases out there, and everybody's sort of working alone, or you have to cobble them together to get some sort of operation program going. So you also have a set of people that have unclear roles. They don't have a lot of information to make decisions. They might have limited data when they do go to make those decisions. You don't know exactly what they're doing, so you can't allocate your resources to the right places at the right time, and your people may have limited training. So what else are our problems? We have independent data and manual controls. I'm really into getting rid of things that you have to push buttons to use, and it's really difficult to share information. So this is kind of where we're at today, and I know you all are very technologically savvy people, and there are a lot of great solutions that are out here, and we'll go over how ours works. So what are our customers looking for? We work with events, security, we work with borders, we work with airports, and our customers are really looking to create a seamless experience for their customers, for people. They want a safe environment for staff, and they want to be able to use the right tech at the right time. And you know, before COVID, CertScan is a great product that was able to add temperature detection to our programs that had CertScan very easily and quickly. And so I think, you know, as people integrate these systems together, we're going to be able to react a lot quicker to new threats. So what is CertScan? CertScan is an integration platform. It has where you're combining information and screening data in a user-friendly system. So I won't go into a lot of detail about these exact components, but what we're looking to do is pull data and hardware together and have them work for the right person at the right time. And by having everything together and having it on a user-based system, you're able to track, monitor, and report on everything that's going on in your operation. So for example, here is a simplified integration at the border. The process is up top so that a driver approaches a POE. An early read system is initiated. So you've got a few pieces of equipment. You have a license plate reader. You might have data coming from a custom system that's telling you what's in the shipment. You might have a driver's license. This is where your facial recognition could come in. And I have an asterisk by the facial recognition. My legal and compliance team wanted me to make sure to let you know that when we use any systems that have facial recognition, that we follow the applicable laws and regulations of the country or state where we're operating. So you might have facial recognition here. You might actually be able to add a temperature detection system at this point. You also might have a gate. You might have an undercarriage scanner, a lot of pieces of disparate equipment, and some data that you want to use. So this is where CertScan comes in. CertScan brings all that together, and it starts processing each step of the security checkpoint, adding each piece of equipment, each result, delivering up the information to the image analyst or the supervisor, whoever role it is to follow these pieces through the checkpoint will get the information they need at that time. And at the same time, as you're making decisions, CertScan is talking back to the piece of equipment or the database, pushing that truck through the system. So it's passing through the checkpoint and the inspection systems. They're monitoring and managing it from one central location. And in a border scenario, excuse me, you have secondary inspection. So if you've done an X-ray image and you find something suspect about the image, you will send it to secondary inspection. And normally, you have people on the ground routing people where to go. And with an integration platform like CertScan, you don't need that anymore. You can gate people, and all of your officers can be in a nice air-conditioned room, doing their work and being comfortable. So here's another example of how it could work at an airport. So, you have different security components at an airport. You have maybe CCTV, maybe you have a secure zone where the CCTV kicks off. You might have to implement a thermal imaging system at the entrances of the airport, at your staff entrances, inside the airport, at the exit. So you can have numerous thermal imaging systems in the airport, right? So, for example, a passenger could arrive at the airport and go through the thermal imaging. If they clear, they continue on. If they are suspect, they can go into a secondary screening. And this is usually how inspection is done. You have people who have cleared and people who might need to have a second look. So you can have a health station at your secondary screening where you can have CertScan, which again is compliant to all laws and regulations of the country or state we're operating. So not only is it compliant to things that govern facial recognition, but also HIPAA and health and data. So it's a secure data integration platform for all these different pieces that have different rules that apply to them. So as we want to get on our plane, we're cleared by the thermal, and we go to check in and drop off our bags. So at that check-in spot, you're starting your integrated data package with CertScan. You've got your passenger information, you now have a baggage RFID, and then as you go to the checkpoint, you're adding the metal detector clearance, you're adding the explosive detection, you're adding the baggage X-ray, and then you don't have to have, excuse me, extra staff on the ground. You can have more staff, in a comfortable command center, managing the whole process, and you can automate how people move through security. So again, like if there is an issue, there's a secondary screening inspection that can also be added through CertScan, or they can just go ahead and get on the plane. And through that, you know, it provides an efficiency of systems so that you can deal with any sort of increase in traffic or any addition of equipment that you need to add quickly to the workflow. Okay, when COVID hit, we went ahead and started offering elevated body temperature technology. Now, our company does not make elevated body temperature technology, but we do make CertScan, which is an integration platform, and we knew we needed a way to secure the data so that it was in a place that complied with HIPAA. So we developed a way at a ConOps where the people entering the event would be mass screened, and then if there was an issue, we had a secondary screening station where a CertScan would kick off, and you would start asking them questions and taking their temperature. And this way, you had all the information in one spot, and if you needed to actually add more security equipment, you could very easily. And we have worked with a number of PGA golf tournaments all summer long, deploying this technology so that they could continue to play. Okay. So how is CertScan human-centric? Well, you know, CertScan combines equipment and data, but we present it based on a user role. So you can have, you know, a number of user roles that are able to really just do their job in a efficient manner because they know what they have to do, they're getting the information they need, and it's being presented to them at exactly the time they need it. So it's fantastic to watch, you know, operators who used to have to do lots of different manual processes be relieved of a number of that, and they're able to actually, you know, do exactly what they joined that force in order to do. So you have, you know, in a border scenario, you might have an on-site agent who is, you know, putting people through a security line. You might have who has to, you know, tell someone to go to secondary. You might have an image analyst in a remote analysis center, and you also have like a maintenance crew who has to keep all the equipment updated. So CertScan is able to help all of these types of people because it's connected into the system, so it's able to hand back any sort of health data and give reports on that, and it's able to present information at the right time. Now, you also have an operational view. So let's say you have your remote analysis center, you have a number of supervisors. Well, those supervisors can watch every checkpoint as someone is passing through. So this is just Bob. This is Bob Smith, and his CertScan package, his CertScan data package starts at his name and at the check-in point. So he's checked some baggage, and his name is Bob Smith. You know, as soon as he goes to the security, he starts going through the metal detector and he's clear. He starts going through the explosive detection and he's clear. He starts going through the hand baggage and he's got a non-clear, so they take him to the secondary. So every single person and baggage that's going through there is shown in real time to these supervisors in the remote analysis center. They know how busy it is. They can pull reports on, you know, what the peak times are, and they can make adjustments for things, and they can plan ahead with this massive amount of useful information. Okay. So just a quick overview, we have probably more, but 101 system instances the last time I checked in the last month of CertScan working around the world. And we're really looking forward to working with Customs and Borders and events and airports and transportation networks, you know, to get things working together so that when you use technology like facial recognition or transportation information, you can combine it with other systems so that it helps keep things moving rather quickly. So just a little information on some of our flagship projects. We do have a full turnkey integrated solution in Oman where we scan cargo for them. And because CertScan is so flexible, in Oman, we scan what they tell us to. In Puerto Rico, we have a full turnkey NII system there at 5 scanning sites. We scan everything that comes into the port, and it's all tied into CertScan. That one's our first deployment, and for 9 years now, we've been receiving manifest information and X-rays and putting it together through CertScan so our operators can do an image analysis on the shipments really quickly, and that's how we're able to scan everything that comes into that port. We just started an operation in Guatemala, and this one's interesting because now we're talking to US CBP, and we're talking to between the 2 customs agencies about sharing the X-ray information. So once you actually start having all of your data, your inspection data, your shipment data in one place, and you're able to share that with another country, the possibility of creating a fast lane of travel between ports is right in front of you. And the last one I wanted to show you, because we have a lot of pieces of equipment in this, on a border in Kazakhstan, between Kazakhstan and China, CertScan runs their entire operation. They have equipment from an automated, driver's license verification to a disinfection station, X-ray inspection, CCTV. They have a remote analysis center that's on the site, and they process about 10,000 trucks a month. So it's really quite big. And here you see the map of the system, and they can watch every truck go through. This is like the review image screen. So anytime there's an issue, a supervisor can pop one of these up, and you can watch the whole operation as it's live. And this is their people screening location as well. Yeah. So with CertScan, you'll have everything at your fingertips when you need it. Thank you, Jay.
Thank you, Melissa. Next up, we have Steve and Paul from PortNexus. They've done some very cool implementation with FaceMe, and they like to share what they've done and how they can be implemented.
Okay. I'm Steve Jones. I'm the founder CEO of PortNexus. I have Paul Gailey, my CTO and partner, with us. And what we want to do is share with you a little bit about how we do what we do, so that you understand how we're able to incorporate the technology in a mobile space. Our focus from beginning has been in the mobile space. And starting in about 2012, our focus became helping companies by providing them with solutions for technology challenges caused by their mobile workers. The companies were faced with a vicarious liability, having the responsibility of protecting society as much as possible, and pushing that out to the edge of their company, which are their mobile workers. So when we started to learn about what we could do with the facial recognition, with COVID, it became obvious there was going to be a challenge to companies. So the way we're able to do this is we developed our system originally so that we could generate software as a service solutions to satisfy business requirements or business needs for the masses. So for example, our main product is Pledge, the distracted driving solution, and we're able to develop upon that software as a service to expand its capability. The other part of our technology is the creation of a real-time IoT system we call IQ Connexus that allows for almost a mini server at each point that it interacts with, so that it can ask questions and answer questions of different things connected to it, which now people are calling computing at the edge. So this is how we're able to accomplish and work the FaceMe application into our system. because with i2Connexus, we are connected to many different things that allow the systems to chatter back and forth and become information to each other. So for example, with the FaceMe solution, what we did was we built into our pledge application 2 use cases so far. The first one, let's call it a bus driver. Anytime you have someone that is responsible for transporting people, could be rideshare, could be Uber, could be any of the bus services or ambulances. But when you are responsible for transporting people, we set up a rule that says as soon as you start moving, we're going to start checking for a mask. And I'll let Paul get into details on that in just a second here. The second use case that we created was for field workers, because these are the people that are coming into your homes, they're dropping off packages like FedEx, delivery services, and they're interacting with the public. And during that interaction, companies need to be able to know that for the most part, their workers are being compliant with the face mask regulations to protect both society and the company from any potential actions. So because of our design, by taking our platform associate pledge, our backend system allows us to connect the information from the core systems of the company and not just communicate the information, but also use this information as triggers on the mobile side to tell things what to do. So we have the ability for, with Pledge and i2Connexus, for all these different systems to talk to each other, including FaceMe, and to provide information back to the company through our platform, as well as through the other services that are running. By creating this standalone SaaS solution, we're able to incorporate what's important to companies now, which is the ability to observe what's happening, document what's happening, and control what's happening. And with the structure that we have, you'll see we have a purpose of identifying and reporting for compliance and for coaching when there is a driver that needs coaching. So Paul, do you want to talk a little bit about this, where the separation of edge processing and the back end is, and how it works?
Yeah, sure. So our main product is Pledge. It's a safety solution, includes distracted driving and many other safety features. So what we do on the mobile platform there, so Pledge is running there, and we use various aspects of the device. You know, so in the case of FaceMe, we use the camera, we use the FaceMe technology. We have our networking platform, i2Connexus, on there, and so we take a mixture of our technologies from FaceMe, and what's available on the device. We put it all together to create this system. On the cloud side, that's where the reporting and the communication is to the outside world. It gets away from the edge. So we're back to the internet, and we can do the reporting and the notifications, and we can process the business rules and the business cases all in the cloud. So this is the kind of separation that we have in our system.
Thanks, Paul. So what we will do next is we built a simulator that makes it pretty simple to see how this operates. And this will be live on our website by the end of next week. So you'll be able to go back to it and show other people how to use it. But again, this is all about the vicarious liability limitation. First of all, our distracted driving solution. I'm going to lock it down with Pledge. And what you're seeing is, as I tap on things, we are collecting the information and routing it back to the system for reporting for the company to be able to see what actually happened in real time or near real time across their systems. So up here, we're going to focus on having the driver with the face mask on. We're going to show the driver first with the face mask, and we're going to take that face mask off. And over here, you can see that it has captured a picture. And Paul, I'm going to ask you to talk a little bit about that picture and security, because of what Melissa said, I think that's important. But you've got this captured now so that, let's say the accuracy because of lighting isn't 100%, your people will be able to say, okay, that wasn't an infraction, but it's documented there to protect the company as well. Same thing with a delivery person. As long as they deliver with the face mask on, no problem. If they are delivering with the face mask off, it's going to create the violation. It's going to show the document that allows the company to address it from a coaching standpoint and protect the company from that vicarious liability. So it's very simple to understand the concept and understand how it works. From the mobile side, it's invisible. However, on the reporting side, it captures the actual action so that there's proof of what happened, that the company is being diligent, and when there is a coaching need, it's easy for the company to coach with. Any questions? Or Paul, do you want to address the security issue real quick?
Sure. You were mentioning the images. So how do we handle these images? So, well, in the device, what we do is, and it depends upon the use case that we're using, whether it's a passenger vehicle or delivery person. But basically, the app will take a sequence of pictures one after another, and for each image is passed to the FaceMe recognition engine, and it'll give us an indication of whether the mask is on or whether the mask is on properly, or if there's no mask at all. And in the case where there's no mask at all, then like from the sequence of pictures, we'll take that particular one, you might call it the incriminating evidence, and we will take that picture and we'll upload it into the cloud. Now, what we do at PortNexus is a little different from others. What we do is we upload that image to our customers' servers, so they have custody of this information. We don't have custody, but they do. But we help to manage it in a way that's very simple for them to get access to that data when they want to get access to it. But ultimately, the customer has custody of that image. They can delete it when they want to. They can put whatever security parameters they need around it, and we'll work with all of that. So yeah, so that's what that is.
Okay, thanks, Paul. So what we're going to do next is we're going to show you an example. We did a video of this to show you how it actually works, both on the mobile side and the desktop side, on the reporting in our live system.
So I'm going to demonstrate our integration with FaceMe. And so I'm a driver behind the wheel. I have my face mask on, and I'm going to push a button here on our app, and our phone is going to activate the FaceMe technology. And what it's going to do is it's going to take a sequence of images and pass each image to the FaceMe recognition engine and tell me the status of the face mask. And based on that, we can determine if the driver is compliant or not with the face mask. So I'll just push that button now. So it's taking these images right now of me, and it's stealth. There, see, it detected that I was wearing a face mask. Okay, now let's switch. I'll take my face mask off. And now let's, I'll be a driver and I do not have a face mask on, and we'll see what the face mask determination is there. so it warned me that I should be wearing a face mask. And on the screen over here, it is displaying a violation that will go to the driver manager so they can do further coaching and so on with this particular driver. So I'm going to.
Okay. So with that, there's a couple of things I want to point out. What Paul was doing was using our demo mode, which you push a button to get it to operate. Obviously, this is it's invisible technology in the mobile space that's based on motion, on speed, and on the business rules associated with it. So where he's causing it to act right away, it will just automatically do that in the field. And one other thing I want to point out is if you are like a delivery service, you get out of the truck, it starts working then, and it's looking for the face and it's looking for the mask. And when you get in front of the door to deliver something and look down at the tablet or the smartphone, it's going to recognize at that point if you are wearing a mask or not. And if you are, everything's fine. You get back in the truck, the trip continues. If you're not, it marks that point in time, and that's when the violation comes up in a out of vehicle mode. Jade, back to you.
Thank you, Steve and Paul. Great presentation, great demo of the technologies that you guys have put together. Next up, we have Craig fielding a few questions that were asked by the audience. We have about 7 minutes, Craig. So let's just try to make sure we end on time. I know there are a few questions that came out. So yes. Perhaps we start with the guys at PortNexus. Some of their questions.
Definitely. So if our panelists could all join us back. So if we could start off with PortNexus, first question we have for you, amazing presentation, is how accurate is this solution and how do you assure accuracy in your reporting?
Yeah, that's a really good question. What we did was we did a lot of real world testing with this technology. So there are some aspects of the FaceMe SDK that really helped us out in this regard. And that is whenever a determination is made that there's a confidence level, like a threshold from which it believes, yeah, he's wearing a mask, I'm not sure, that kind of thing. So what we did was we used that and we sort of set a line where if anything's below a certain confidence level, we're just going to throw that result away. And like I say, we have a sequence of images, so we just move to the next image. And the images are taking, sub-second fast, right? So there's many images to go through. So if there's a low confidence one, we throw it away and we move to the next one. And then once we get an image that has a high confidence level, then we use that to determine whether the face mask is on or not.
Great. Thank you for that response. Next one is for CyberLink.
Okay.
Well, how is FaceMe the best solution for facial recognition used for security and health to check in on airports and public transportation?
Yeah, sure. So, well, there's many reasons. First, as I mentioned in the presentation, we do offer an SDK that is compatible with literally every deployment, every platform, every type of hardware equipment. So you can connect together an experience across multitude of systems with the right integration. So that's one thing. Now add to that the fact that we have some of the top accuracy in the market. So at 99.7%, it's definitely accurate enough for any of use cases there. The fact that it's edge-based is very secure. There's no lag time. So that also ensures a very smooth process across the board. We have technologies that minimizes any bias due to lighting, as I mentioned, skin complexion, gender, poor camera lenses with our technologies. We have full anti-spoofing technology that works for 2D or 3D cameras. And recently we added a number of features specific to the pandemic, to COVID-19. So making sure that at any given time we can detect if anyone is not wearing a mask properly or if they have elevated body temperature. So when you bring it all together, there's literally no solution that comes close in the market.
All right. Next question is for S2. Amazing product with the CertScan. How many systems has CertScan integrated in one solution? Oh, need to put the mute, yes.
Hi. No, off the top of my head, I am not sure exactly how many, but if I count, we have multi-site solutions in some of the countries that we work with. So it's not just one scanning site. At a scanning site, it can include the customs database, the logistics database, the gating system, the shipping arrival time, and then the radiation system, the X-ray system, and then the exit gating. So that's 7 just for one site, and we have customers that have many sites. So we have 101 instances, so it's a lot.
Yes, great. I think that's all the time we have for today. Jay, you want to wrap it up for us?
Yeah. So I mean, there obviously are a few questions that were asked by the audience. We'll respond to you guys offline. We have your contact information, just so you know. And you'll get an email from us tomorrow, which will cover today's videos as well. So you could do a rewatch if you missed some of the content that we presented today. Thanks everyone for joining, and we would like to hear from you. So at the end of the webinar, we will display our contact information and share it with the audience. You also have it as a form of a handout that's already been passed on, so you could access it through the control panel there. Thanks everyone for joining. Thanks for the team from PortNexus. Thanks Melissa. Thanks Richard and Craig. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye everyone.